All right, as promised, funny video of the day number 1. All right, so the Taliban apparently hates their jobs. This falls under be careful what you wish for. I mean, these Taliban members are so used to planning attacks um and retreating that because what they wanted was to be in government, and now that they're in government, they hate it. They even say, and um let's see, they are now stuck behind a desk, lamenting their boring computer jobs, spending all their time on Twitter, high rent, and commutes to work. Which, this is hilarious. I mean, maybe this is a good thing. Maybe they'll get so fed up that they're just gonna leave government. I realize that that's me being really, really optimistic. I doubt that's gonna happen, but this this group, what are they called? The Afghanistan Analytics Network. They interviewed 5 bureaucrats who were former mujahideen, and let's see, they range in age from 24 to 32 and had spent between 6 and 11 years in the Taliban. So a good amount of time, especially if you consider the ages. I mean, that's most of your life spent with the Taliban, and now you're in charge of running a country. So, and, people, used to hate, well, they still hate the Taliban, but they didn't think much of them in ways of governing, and now they're relying on them to do just that. And they just don't know how to deal with that. Let's see here. Life's become so wearisome. You do the same things every day. Being away from the family has only doubled the problem. I can only assume he means the Taliban family, because there's nothing about your jobs that prevents you from seeing your family. So maybe, I hope that's what they mean. I could say he. I mean, there's not going to be a female Taliban member. Let's see. This is the most bizarre sentence. I sometimes miss the jihad life for all the good things it had. What? Attacking people was a good thing? What is wrong with these people? I don't care if he's only 25. That is fucked up. In our ministry, there's little work for me to do. Therefore, I spend most of my time on Twitter. And so they're now addicted to Twitter. So this is probably why the Taliban was trying to get Elon Musk to give them a blue check mark, because they're always on Twitter. But yeah, this sounds like they wanted something, which was they wanted to run the government, and nobody had the foggiest idea of what that meant. Now they're in that position, and they're just like, all right. So, maybe they do mean their families, because none of the interviewed men are native to Kabul. They're all men from the provinces who moved into the city after the U.S. left. And one of them says, I haven't brought my family to Kabul. The rent of houses is very high for us since our salary is no more than 15,000 Afghanis, which is roughly $180 US dollars. It is fully sufficient for Yakahel, but not for Kabul. As soon as, God willing, I have a good salary, I will bring my family here. So, I'm sorry. You run the damn country. How are you not able to rectify this? Oh my God, this is just so comical. This is so funny. Unfortunately, the people who are relying on them, not very funny because, hey, if the Taliban don't like running the country, they can leave. I'm sure that people won't mind, especially women. I'm sure they wouldn't mind if they just said, you know what, this isn't for us. We're just gonna go away. So, but I guess even if they went away, they would just start attacking again because, that's apparently the only life they know, and they seem to like attacking people because reasons. Because it's not to run the country anymore. We know that. Because they don't like it. Let's see. He also complained about the traffic. Last year was tolerable, but in the last few months it's become more and more congested. Then he lamented the freedom he lost when the Taliban won the war. Again, the things that they're pissing and moaning about the most, like high rent, traffic congestion. You guys can do something about this. You guys are in power to. You guys are in government. You can do something about it. You don't have to, just take it. I mean, why be a part of government if you can't do anything about it? Let me go back and see who are these people that they interviewed. Let's see. The men that they interviewed secured jobs for the new government in Kabul. 2 got civilian jobs and the other 3 got security positions. So yeah, they're all part of the government. They've got sway. They can, even if they personally can't do anything, they know people who can do something. It is just too funny. Let's see. Okay. These days you have to go to the office before 8 a.m. and stay there till 4 p.m. If you don't go, you're considered absent, and the wage for that day is cut from your salary. We're now used to that, but it was especially difficult in the first 2 or 3 months. Oh my God, this sounds hilarious. I mean, seriously, who the fuck doesn't understand that that's the way life works? I mean, I realize that these people have been in the Taliban for most of their lives, but seriously, you don't know what's happening in the outside world? You've never heard of jobs? I mean, come on. I just don't see. Maybe they've always lived in caves and they literally have no clue how the world works. Because what the hell? You obviously must have known something if people weren't doing it right. So I just don't understand these people. Let's see. I'm sort of happy with my job, but often miss the time of jihad. During that time, every minute of our life was counted as worship. We used to live among the people. Many of us have now caged ourselves in our offices and palaces, abandoning that simple life. Wait a minute. If you used to live among the people, then you should know that this is how jobs work. What? I'm very concerned about our mujahideen. The real test and challenge was not during the jihad, rather it's now. At that time it was simple, but now things are much more complicated. We are tested by cars, positions, wealth, and women. Many of our mujahideen, God forbid, have fallen into these seemingly sweet but actually bitter traps. Again, what did you think was going to happen? I mean, this is what you fought for. I mean, maybe not to get wealthy, but you fought for running the country in your image. And now you're upset that that requires money and status? I mean, up to a point, yeah, you don't have to be obscenely wealthy, but what? Yeah, some are probably getting drunk on wealth, but do you not know what is happening? I swear, none of these people paid attention to what was happening in the real world, even before they joined the Taliban, because, I mean, seriously, these people had parents. These people must have seen how hard they work. Because, I mean, my understanding is there was some prosperity. I mean, maybe not necessarily, or maybe because they were from poorer areas, maybe they didn't see that. Maybe because there were no jobs, but I find that hard to believe because isn't farming a thing in Afghanistan? I don't know. Maybe I'm completely off base, but what on earth? Peace and civilization has its drawbacks. Oh my God. And the warriors of the Taliban have spent more than a generation fighting. It's hard to flip the switch and make the transition. It's still difficult not to miss the days of the jihad. I guess but you can find ways to engage yourself. Like, oh, I don't know, solve some problems in Afghanistan instead of just telling women that they're just glorified blow up dolls. I mean, run the country? That should be plenty of excitement because you are actually solving real world problems and, I don't know, using the brain that Allah gave you. This is just so funny. Um, the lamenting the pursuit of money that's coming to dominate life in Afghanistan. I'm pretty sure that always dominated Afghanistan. I mean, look at Afghanistan 1970s. They were quite prosperous and people lived normal lives. Yes, of course, going to work, having to make money. Yeah, that's stressful. But what did you think was going to happen when you won the war? You were going to outlaw money? I mean, it would be great if everybody, just was able to, get whatever they needed without having to pay. Like a Star Trek universe where, minus the Ferengi, you just pick something up and, people don't pay. Okay, that would be fine, but that's not the world we live in, and that was never the world Afghanistan lived in. So I I mean, even if you live in a really poor area and didn't know how office jobs work, I'm sure you could see your parents needing money. I just don't understand why this is a foreign concept to them. Let's see. There's a proverb in our area that money is like a shackle. Now, if we complain or don't come to work or disobey the rules, they cut our salary. Unlike jihad, Now, particularly when the battles are long gone and the risk is zero, the emirate could find countless people to work with them in return for a salary. So, yeah. There is a lot to be desired with the way the world is structured. However, I still don't see why. But by all means, leave. Go back to your caves and wherever it was that you were happiest. I'm sure if enough Taliban did that they were like, yeah, this just isn't us. We're going to leave. I'm sure people would be fine with that. Hold elections and get people kicked out, and maybe Afghanistan could prosper once again. So, but yeah, just this whole thing is just too funny, and them complaining about, they're like the dog that caught the car. They're now trying to figure out, okay, what do I do now? Because they have no idea. They're not going to learn from people who do know how because, well, those are infidels, so no. So now they just have to figure shit out as they go, and it sounds like people are not happy about it because they have to deal with the very issues that they were fighting against to begin with, which, again, there are certain things that do suck about this life. However, a lot of the things they complained about, they're in government. They can do something about it. Like, I don't know, create more roads to alleviate traffic congestion, um, regulate transportation, have more public transportation. When it comes to high rent prices, I don't know, regulate how high rent can get based on median income, something. They can do so much with creating policies, but they don't have a clue. So all they do is bitch about. So they're just bitching and punishing women because, well, obviously women are the source of all evil or something. But yeah, this is just so funny. And this is an old article. This is from like 6 days ago, but it was brought to my attention on The Daily Show, and it is just so funny. Not as funny as my next video, but this is just hilarious. It really is. So, with that, I say good night and, well, good afternoon, and I will see you guys in the next video.